It all started on Sunday, July 5, 2020, when Nathaniel and Trevor asked Angela to marry them. What? Yeah. Nathaniel got engaged to Angela from Greenwald, and Trevor got engaged to Angela, otherwise known as Angie, from Springfield. This caused us all to get excited, and soon after we met and discussed the theme, which was Japanese cherry blossom. Then we waited for about 2 months, which is when we started practicing our songs. In October, we went shopping with Adriana and discussed skits and whatever else was included in the wedding. At this point, we'd finally gotten a date, November 15. This took a while to figure out because it's a little complicated to coordinate a date when you are having a wedding with 2 colonies. Both those colonies have 2 couples, and one of those other couples is married to another double couple colony. With about a month left, we started punching flowers. Lots of flowers. And we also had one skit written. There would be 3 grandmas who went out and gossiped about the couples. We also had some facts written for the fact reading and the basics down for the ads. With about 3 weeks left, we got started with putting together the decorations, spending an hour or 2 every couple of days after singing practice, listening to music and working. One night we put together candy bags, but it's a little hard when you don't know how many people are coming. On Friday, 2 weeks before the wedding, we began hearing some rumblings of possible restrictions coming for the whole province. This was when we decided that we needed to finish the centerpieces as soon as possible, just in case. We were up till 3 in the morning, gluing flowers together, bending the petals a little, gluing them onto sticks, then blushing every single flower. We don't make things easy on ourselves, but that's because we know that big results require big ambitions. The next morning, the Brotherhood had a meeting and decided that the wedding would most likely be on November 8th instead of the 15th. We'd lost a whole week. But as Benjamin Franklin said, you can do anything you set your mind to. And boy, did we set our mind on that wedding. Not only that, but we couldn't let the kids or really anybody else know about it because the cops were starting to stop the weddings they knew of. But the problem with not telling the kids is that they get confused when they have to practice their songs every day and get them perfect for Sunday when there's no wedding anyway. But their music teacher fixed that problem by telling them that they were singing on Sunday, wedding or not. So they had to be ready. The DNA, on the other hand, had a lot of work to do. There was still the arch, the other 3 walls, the fondant flowers for the individual and the wedding cakes, icing the individual wedding cakes, singing the songs, one of which we'd only practiced once, writing the facts and the ads, practicing them and the skit, and making the signs. But we adopted the right attitude and converted our negative stress into a positive. Luckily, both couples were only coming Sunday morning, as opposed to the last 3 weddings where they came Saturday afternoon, the day before. Well, Saturday afternoon, the week before the wedding, we got together and made a schedule, planned out what we needed to do on each day, and got to work with the task for that day, the lanterns. Sunday, we kept trudging along with our shadow box branches and writing the ads. On Monday, we just punched a lot of flowers, while one of our DNA made a tree to put them on. Then we put them on the tree and finished it that very same day. We also found out that one of the couples was coming on Saturday, so we lost another evening we had been planning on using. The next day, Tuesday, we made fondant flowers. Wednesday, we made more branches, this time to go around the verse we had on the wall. And you guessed it, we also made more flowers. On Thursday was the big day, the arch day. Around 11 we got started. Not only did we attempt the arch that day, but we also hung the lanterns and put the stickers on the candy bags. We didn't get very far with the arch that day, and around 1 the school Diana left. I don't know how late the others stayed, and I probably don't want to. There wasn't a day that week where we left the kitchen before 12:30, and that was just the Diana who were in school or cooking the next day. On Friday we put everything up. We finished the arch and put our finishing touches everywhere. By that I mean pink flowers. The next day we set up the tables. This took a while because they weren't cooperating, and of course, us being the very simplistic folk that we are, we had to have a white tablecloth, a pink strip down the middle, and lace on top. Then we put down our centerpieces and our souvenirs, which were spray hand sanitizers. We had a quaint label that read, "Spread love, not germs, hand sanitizer, thank you," on one side, and "To have and to hold to prevent a bed cold. Trevor and Angie, Nathaniel and Angela, November 2020-ish. Now, before you get mad at us for bringing COVID into our wedding, I need to tell you that we did not do it lightly. and it was one of only two things that had anything to do with COVID. That evening after church, we were all settling down for a quick supper at home before we had to go to the kitchen, when out of the blue they paged that the first couple will be here a whole half hour early, which gave us about 15 minutes. Immediately all the young people ran to the kitchen with flashlights and laundry wagons. Everyone grabbed a sign, and two of the guys dressed up in their hazmat suits for their little spiel. We plunked our signs on our wagon and just ran out to the road, because obviously we couldn't leave the signs there like you normally would and tell the whole world that we're having a wedding, because we have some nosy neighbors who would in a heartbeat. At our COVID sign, the van is stopped by another sign, a new sign that says Love Bug Testing Site. Their van is sprayed down and they get visually tested, and the couple, as well as the other one the next day, test positive for the love bug. Finally, the couple vehicle comes to us, and because it's dark, we have to shine our flashlights so that they can all read the signs. Then they stop at our kitchen, where they are welcomed by everyone in Oak Bluff. About an hour later, we all go home to the house they are temporarily going to be living, and have a singing evening with guitars and drum sets. The next day, we all get woken up by a page that says the couple will be here in no less than 10 minutes. We all panic a little, and again, all rush to the kitchen, flashlights. Again, we greet the couple, then we go home, and at 9:30 we head to church. After church, we have a quick mittag, and our preacher tells us that the wedding will begin exactly at 3 o'clock-ish, meaning that Springfield will be there at 2:58, Oak Bluff will come around 3, and then Greenwald will find their way over around 3:10. And at 3:15 is when it all began. There were songs.
Don't forget to remember you're never alone. No matter if you are up high or down low.
We did the facts, where our preacher ended up getting the last laugh.
I want you to know you're sleeping.
The ads played throughout, and the grand finale of Jankelasket.
För jag har lagt så i veckan det som vi måste däcken av oss. Och så tjäna fromma deutsche Lieder. Det ni, jag har lagt all of English name. Oh, man knows of it.
Everything went well. We somehow managed to pull it off. A wedding a week sooner than it was scheduled. And luckily we did, because on Thursday the whole province was put under a 5-person limit. Now, what is the moral of this story? Number 1, don't procrastinate. That's always a good one, but it's true. If we would have started sooner, we wouldn't have been so stressed. Number 2, always be aware that plans may change. The world we live in, especially now, you never know what will happen and what restrictions will randomly be put in place. You can't be set on one single thing without flexibility. If you are, you will face many devastations in life. Number 3, keep going. Don't stop when things get tough or seem to be going downhill. You have to keep trudging along. Number 4, look at the bright side. In the end, we were so much happier that the wedding was over. All the work was done. We could sit back and relax a week early.